Aloha and welcome to my channel, All Good Things in All Good Time, where it's all good, where it's always a good day to be alive. Right? Always good to say it's a good day to be alive, because then you hear yourself say it and then you start thinking it and then you experience it. You know what I'm saying? And this is a show that I like to call Talking Story with Craig Hamilton Bradley. I was thinking it could be a Fireside Chat Talking Story. Anyway, so let's talk about big show. This is a continuation of the last one. My memory cut out on me. It's a low budget production, and my phones just run out of memory, and so that's why I get cut off. And then, you know, it takes me apparently days to get back to finishing the thought. So, but let's start with the water quality test here in Kaanapali. I was just walking the stairs and I saw some strangers, some tourists. They're like, "Hey, we love your show, All Good Things and All Good Time." And I was like, whoa, man, that's a trip. Because, I mean, if you understand statistical probabilities, if there's 1,000 or 2,000 people watching this program, I mean, what are the real odds of you run? There's 350 million people in the United States. There's 8 billion in the world. What are the odds of you running into one of 1,000 people in the world, or 1,500? Anyway, so that was interesting. And then I was at the post office, and I was talking about waiting in line, and a woman's like, "Oh, I know that voice." And I was like, whoa, that's interesting, you know, like, so that was cool. I mean, I guess it's interesting. Never been recognized, had my voice recognized. So anyway, and for you who's visiting and in this hotel, you want me to do this. You want to know what's going on here with the water, and this is very helpful. Or if you're a refugee and you're living here. So the stuff out of the tap, holy shit, right? I can do it again here. I just did it. It was 508 parts, 518, or 508 parts per million. Okay. I imagine that to just be like, the higher the number, the more dirt in the water. You can think of it in a more complicated manner, but that's how I choose to look at it. Now, interestingly, right, and they're right next to each other. There's one of those water faucets with a filter that tells you how many water bottles have been saved and how long until they need to change the filter and whatever. I've tested them a few times, like at a rest stop in Colorado and here, and same, like 400, 500 parts per million. There's no difference. However, right next to it is an ice machine. All the ice machines must have some really good filter systems, because all the ice, if you melt the ice here, it comes out at 8 parts per million. And let's just confirm that. There we go. Oh, 4. Well, I've filtered it since then through my zero water. But I mean, 4, 8, 12 parts per million versus 508. Big difference. So if you're a visitor and you're on the west side, and especially if you're at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel, get yourself some of that ice and melt it and use that. There's an unlimited supply of really good, clean water in the form of ice. So that's interesting. I wonder if it's the same elsewhere. There's also a test I want to do for you all. At the Westin, they have a 7-way filter. You know, filters it through reverse osmosis, through, you know, whatever all the 7 ways are. So it would be interesting to test that water as well, which is right adjacent to where I worked. I mean, it was in the same building. I used to work at Waikoko, which was right there, and around the corner they had that water. And we had good filtered water of a different sort. And so anyway, so that's both of a value of interest. It's interesting. Before the fire in Lahaina town, I tested it out at about 115 parts per million, which is in a pretty good range. And of course, no one knows what those parts are. Is it a bad thing, a good thing? Is it, you know, potassium and magnesium, or is it some kind of dirt? I don't know. Anyway, in my last episode, I was drinking Sierra Nevada's 9% big little thing IPA. 9%, pretty good value. You know, one of those is really all you need. Two is too much, or enough, plenty, right? So I appreciate that's an OG in the good beer market. My brother went to Chico State. I grew up visiting him, and I started drinking Sierra Nevada when I was 13. When it had yeast in the bottom. Anyway, when 6% beer was like really strong. So yeah, gotta love those guys. But right now I'm drinking a mix. I like to blend things, and I just want to show this off because it's a Hawaiian product and it's really cool, and it doesn't have that much sugar. It's only got 6 grams of sugar, and that is this Killa Dragon Fruit and Raspberry Cider by Paradise Ciders. I think that's, my eyes don't work very good, but hella cool. Comes from Oahu. Oh, I want a Hawaiian flag, but locally made. Got to be proud of that. Tastes delicious. Expensive though. It's $3 a can at home. Much cheaper. Well, a little bit cheaper is June Shine, and just imagine you're drinking something. This is probably the most responsible way to drink, because drinking is irresponsible, but this is probably the most responsible way to do it, right? June Shine, 6%. I got the Pog flavor here, and its ingredients is, you know, green tea, guava, orange, passion fruit, and kombucha. That's a pretty good ingredient label. And it's worth looking at on other ingredient labels. It's like, wow, that looks like it's healthy, even though it's alcohol. And this has 5 grams of sugar, so also not too sugary. But I'm mixing the Pog June Shine, which is slightly pink, with more pink Paradise Ciders Killa Dragon Fruit Cider. And it's a great blend. Really nice. So that's what I'm drinking, in case you're wondering what I'm drinking. And a shout out to that local company making some Killa Dragon. It's Killa. All right. Okay, so let's continue the story of White Will Smith. And that is the way to get revenge someday. I've got now his full name. I have his phone number. I have his P.O. box. But I'm not going to give any of you that. That would be crazy. I think he's probably suffered enough, actually. It's funny. But if you want to make him suffer more, go to where he might be telling jokes. Wait till he's done. Make a video of this. But just ask him for his autograph and ask him to sign it. The White Will Smith. The look on his face when someone says, will you sign an autograph for me? And sign it, the White Will Smith? That would be just so special. To capture the look on his face when you asked him that question. And then if you could actually get him to sign something, you know, saying the White Will Smith, that'd be great. And when he's up there telling jokes, I'd be okay, I think, to boo that guy a little bit. I mean, that's what I would do if I went there. I would boo him, and then I would ask him for his autograph and try to film that shit. But I'll probably just let it go. Anyway, the reason I feel like I should just let him off the hook, basically, is because he's probably endured some stress. I have to imagine that, like I said before, if you're the turd who's in his 50s that decides he needs to steal someone's phone, which is maybe even assault, definitely theft, and then vandalize it, which is vandalism, because you're having a temper tantrum in public, you've probably fucked up before. Your temper's probably fucked up your life before in one way or another. You know, maybe he's been in trouble with the law, custody battle. You know, you just never know, right? What kind of hot-headedness his stupidity has led to, and what dumb things he's done, right? So I bet there was something to worry about there on his behalf, right? Second, the people in the bar were friendly with me. I was going to try to do a good thing and put their stuff on my YouTube channel, and then put up their Venmos in case someone wanted to pay him for a joke, you know. Of course, I've mentioned in the past, when you're an open mic stand-up comedian and that's all you do, which is obviously not as wonderful as you'd like it to be sometimes, as is evident by this story. All you ever do is tell your jokes to like 9 or 10 people who usually in their own little clique community in their town, in this bar, where they've all heard each other's bad jokes. These people come back often and tell jokes that didn't work last week or the week before, and they just think, oh, if I just tell it differently or better, I got to work on it. No, you just need to find new jokes sometimes. My God. That's what amazes me in both here on this island. I mean, I could go out to a place where there's an open mic comedy night, see the same 6 people do the same 6 jokes I saw 2 years ago, a year ago, 3 years ago. It's like, my God, I mean, just if you think you have a sense of humor, if you do have one, you should be coming up with more material, because the world's a pretty funny place. In fact, I just saw on Stephen Colbert, he did a bit about something I did a video about. You know, like if you're not from the Midwest, when you suddenly get into like Colorado and so on, and you see these big gas stations called Come and Go, it makes you laugh. It's funny. K-U-M and Go. Anyway, I made a video of that. It got like 400 views in one day, and then it stopped. That's what happens on YouTube. You get views, and then it just stops. Like they just stop circulating entirely. It's so weird. Literally, the one that has 176,000 views stopped getting views 5 months ago. It stopped at 176. It's still at 176, etc. So that's just an interesting detail. All right, so White Will Smith grabs my phone, throws it on the roof, breaks it, and I do the most passive thing possible. Of course, I have just popped a 100 milligram pill. I did my little bit on stage, filmed a couple people, had a few beers, hungry, buzzed. 100 yards away was a Carl's Jr., so I went there. I ordered a chicken sandwich and a burger and a Coke, and I ate it, and I put my seat back, and I passed out in my car, right? I did not do anything threatening. I just fell asleep. That's what I did. And then I went back to the bar right at 2 a.m. when I woke up, and everyone was gone. So I went back the next night, and it turned out White Will Smith, Joe, we'll call him just Joe, he retrieved my phone, was now in possession of it, had brought it to someone to get it fixed, and then was planning on sending it to me and asked me for my address. So now I've got to give him my address, and he's in possession of it, which is weird. But yeah, I went to the bar, and the bartender knew him, had his phone number, and put me on the phone with him. Guy tries to be friends with me. He's like, so how long you been doing comedy? And I was like, really, bro? You're going to try to be friends with me? And then he goes, oh, you were just acting all silly. I'm like, bro, yeah, it's a fucking comedy fucking show night. Like, and acting silly is out of context, you dumb motherfucker. And then I just laid into him. I was calling him a dumb motherfucker, piece of shit, one of the worst people in the world. I was just mean to him. And he just ate it and took it, because I think he was worried about me calling the cops. But imagine, I left silently, right? I bet somebody in the room said, oh shit, I bet he's coming back with a gun, he's gonna kill everybody. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. Was I gonna go get my friends? Was I gonna get the cops? Gonna go get a gun? What was I gonna do? Was I gonna wait for Joe to come out of the bar and then do something to him, or follow him home, or who knows what everyone was thinking? The people in this bar community knew each other, and you know, it's likely that the 2 people that I become friends with when I first got there, who I filmed, I'm going to put on my channel, they were probably pissed at him. I might have known him just enough to say, fuck you, dude, that was uncool. You know, and so that probably happened too. Like, in a place where he thought he was trying to become popular and wanted to be friends with people, he's now a black sheep, I think, which I don't think he wanted or needed. I think he was trying to become the popular guy by, you know, protecting everyone, because he thought I was violating their privacy by filming them. He didn't know I had permission, and they wanted me to, and they had already written my Venmo on a piece of paper for me to post for them. And anyway, in the future, I'm going to try to do that anyway, just to be nice, but not from that night. I decided, even if I have the videos, just fuck it, man. Yeah. It was just too disheartening. But yeah, so anyway, that's just the funny part. I mean, it's really funny if you think about it. Like, he was so probably worried about God knows what, and I said, okay, and then I just screwed it in a little harder by sending him texts from other people's phones, my mom's phone, and she died, who just died 36 hours before he steals my phone. My mom died, right, which makes it worse on his part. No, but so I sent him a text from her phone saying, "Where's Craig's phone?" I sent him a text from my other phones. Where's Craig's phone? Like it was a third party, like I was some kind of tough guy that was representing me. Anyway, yeah, so I think Joe's probably suffered enough. But if you want to try to do something funny, mean, but in a funny way, to let him know that, like, whatever, you know who he is, whatever. But you'll fuck with him. But it'll be kind and passive and peaceful and funny. If you just try to get his autograph asking him to sign the white Will Smith. All right. Thanks for letting me finish that story about the white Will Smith. What time? 16 minutes. See, I'm just burning up time. I'm never going to get through this. I'm going to have to do another one. Hopefully the next one will be long enough to be able to get it all done. All right, I'm going to get cut off at some point. Okay, if you saw the news, Benny was on the news, maybe national news, for running across the United States, however much of it he actually did, to raise awareness for our situation. People living in this hotel, trying to get a place to stay that's more permanent, worried about getting kicked out in 2 weeks. In the news, there was a guy saying he's getting kicked out of his hotel in 2 weeks. I'm wondering, is that me too? Do I just not know it? I'm going to get kicked out in 2 weeks. And meanwhile, FEMA's supposedly working on trying to get me a place, maybe me and my son. So we'll see what happens with that. They say they're going to have to do background checks, which makes me wonder, like, I guess all the people who don't pass background checks or whatever, they're just going to stay in the hotel for as long as can be, right? And while they might threaten to try to kick us out, if they tried to kick everybody out all at once, probably be a mass rebellion, and it would look really ugly, and etc. So that's what's going on. They have started the fucking ash removal, and they're working hard at it. It's stopping traffic because they got to cross the one highway that everybody comes on to get here. They got to cross that to get from Lahaina town to the dump. And I'm feeling this great sense of urgency, like I need to get to my place one more time and pick up that last few pieces of little silver trinkets that I know are silver. Maybe I can polish them up. Maybe I can have them smeltered. Who knows? I don't know, etc. And I'm curious what it all looks like after water has hit it, because we had heavy rains that just hit everything, and maybe they revealed some stuff. Who knows? I don't know. But I feel like I should take one more turn at the place. If you lost a computer but the hard drive didn't get to 1400 degrees, Drive Savers will retrieve your business for free at no charge. So get your hard drives and send them to Drive Savers and get your pictures back or whatever else is on there. Great company out of Northern California. It's funny how all the local news people and have just been, there have been 3 people I've seen in the news, right? They were all at this one special day in my life, which was really cool. My buddy Savar took me up with him. He was going up to work in the Lo'i, which is our taro patches, on Charlie Palakiko's old family property. They're restoring ancient taro patches, Lo'i, which is its own whole thing that I have and will explain also. But nevertheless, it was a day where I got to bring my children, who were like 10 and 12, and they remember it. And all the people I've seen in the news, 3 people I've seen in the news representing the people of the West Side, who should be representing the people of the West Side. So it's really heartening to see it. Are Charlie Palakiko, whose property this is, and his brother is a high school teacher, and so everyone knows him in town. And then my kids had his brother as a teacher. And then Kai Keahi, the Keahi family, is a force. Uncle Moki, Bear, Kai, their contributions constantly and for decades through their canoe club and Kahana Canoe Club. They've been presidents or the head coach of state championship canoe clubs, Kahana Canoe Club. Just great people. Anyway, so, and then the guy mentioned the most by politicians and entertainers. If you watch local everything, the guy who's getting lots of attention and gratitude is Archie Kalepa, right? And then a Big Al was there too. And Big Al sort of famously died on the beach in the middle of a canoe race. Just this big, strong Hawaiian guy. I'm sorry I don't know his last name. But I'd see him every 3 days a week. Where I would go to work for breakfast, he would be cleaning the pools at Honoakai. I'd be going to Duke's to work breakfast. I'd see him 3 mornings a week, small town, say hello. And so these 4 guys. So these are the guys there. There's Kai and Archie and Charlie Palakiko and Big Al, who passed away. But those 3 guys have all been in the news, right, to represent. And I got to be there with my kids. All we didn't even really, like, these guys were moving big boulders. Maybe there's ghosts. Something just fell over there. Moving big boulders, my kids and I, we were just softening up the mud with our feet to plant the taro. And then maybe we planted a little taro, but we didn't really do much work compared to the real men of the day, which was like Kai and Big Al and Archie Kalepa and Charlie Palakiko. Those guys were doing the real work. But yeah, so that's interesting, right? How often you hear Archie Kalepa's name dropped. He formed the extreme weather big wave rescue team with our local lifeguards, coordinated with other emergency rescue, probably coordinated with the fire department, I don't know, but that's the badass who he's God knows how many people he saved many lives, and rose up and was here to help protect and serve the community when it needed it, when the fire happened too. So that's pretty cool. So I figured, hey, I'm gonna drop that name. We communicated about me opening a comedy club during the pandemic, and he was super positive. So I figured I'm gonna try to reach out and find him, have that conversation again. Now that I feel like it's getting pretty close. Like as soon as I can get all my marbles together, because they're kind of rolling around, a few of them still, I'm gonna get them back in my brain, and I'm gonna find these property companies, and I'm gonna go there because I've tried calling them and nobody ever answers the phone. But I'm gonna go there and say, hey, can I rent this place out? Because there's vacant spaces right here on the west side, and all I need to do is start paying rent, and I'm ready to do that. So that's that. Let's see, man, I'm just getting started. I got like a whole page here. I'm only on number 3. Anyway, during the last trip to visit my mom while she passed away, I rented a electric car, and boy, was that interesting. Like, it worked great here, but man, where you got to drive 150 miles to places, it's a nightmare. I spent 4 nights in my car just charging it up so I could drive around the next day. Some, not a lot. It was funny. I mean, I realized I should have been pissed off and angry, but to me it was just humorous how bad of an experience it was. And I don't want to say that. I want to say it was a great electric car experience, but it makes no sense that there's no solar panels on the car. It makes no sense that there's not charging stations at every gas station. Yeah. Makes no sense that there's different charging hookup points. They should all be this universal charging kind, etc. Yeah. Thank God for weed, though. I mean, if you're in your car all night charging it up, in a Amy's parking lot at the Westfield Gallery Mall in Roseville, if you've got a doobie to smoke, it is nice. It takes the pain away of sleeping in your car. And it was pretty good lumbar support, for my low back. So, I made the best of it. Not afraid to sleep in a nice car. All right. I need to start paddling soon. Need to get in shape. I'm going to try to do as much of an Ironman triathlon as possible, but also I want to do Ragbrei. And all you stupid politicians that want to win Iowa, all you got to do is Ragbrei, man. You want to win Iowa, just go do Ragbrei and then talk about that shit. right? And if you don't know what it is, it's a way for all of us to get together and party and get in shape same time. Reason to get in shape. It's a like 50-mile a day bicycle ride, as slow as you want. If you go 10 miles an hour, it's 5 hours on the bike, across Iowa, from one end to the other, where little towns will take you in. And my son just showed up. Little towns will take you in, and it's just a party. But you also got to be in shape for it a little bit, and it gets you in shape a little bit. And it's a whole bunch of people, like 40,000 people ride a bicycle across Iowa every summer. And it's called Ragbrei. And if you're a smart politician, that's the shit you talk about. These guys are funny how they're trying to win Iowa without ever acknowledging Ragbrei. But yeah, for many reasons, it's been on my bucket list. When I rode a bicycle across the United States 30 plus years ago, people in the region were talking about it back then because it started in the early 70s. It started from some journalists. It's a whole story. But the bottom line is it's a big rolling party through Iowa from one end to the other with a bunch of nice Midwesterners. Might be a nice place to meet a future wife. But also it might be a way for me and my wonderful people who watch this channel to get together, do something healthy and fun, and something to aspire to, something to start getting in shape for now. Okay, are you gonna get me dinner?